There were critical points where they sacrificed themselves, which this dark side, this dark alliance is what it is, could never do. They do not sacrifice themselves for others. They never will, unless they're up on a stage and it's something that is done as an act. Somebody has to be watching. They have to get corporeal, carnal, temporal credit. They live in the world of absolutes because they never will have an absolute because there's no self there. And so they want the pure ones to question themselves. They want those from the pure source, emanating from the pure source, to question their own existence. And what's more is that the pure ones are supposed to come to a place that's harken back to Abrahamic traditions, right? Where it wasn't just a son that was to be sacrificed, and it wasn't just a wife that would always sin against you and defile you, right? And to go against the purity in the God-given word. No, it was you as the strength of God, the strength of the pure source, to not be able to sacrifice the next generation that you know is evil because you are good. We've been put in this stalemate, this dichotomy, where we never would sacrifice our own, even if our own was something that was heavily machinated against us, to the point where it was supplanted, for this next generation son was supplanted in our lives, and to cause us to shunt off and derail the true great work, which is the return to purity and the return to the pure source. It's not even that difficult to do this, but it is the hardest thing to do. Right? From an outside perspective, it's like if you were to look at us as zeros and ones, you'd fully see that operationally it only takes the erasure of this digitized, codified, abstract error, right, in correction. But once it's accepted, the error code is accepted, right? That the third point, instead of a duality, right, where the pure source, those representing the pure source, would invariably have the power, and we're graced with the power. So we will live in a chiral aspect to a falsified world until that happens. And so that's why the Pope sits on the throne until God's return. That is until the pure source returns, until the order is set back, the ordis is set back to its original source, its original code. But until then, all the wrong people are in charge, right? Because they continue on the ritualization to hedonistically go about debauchery as, not for fun, but as an expression that this is who we are. It's not difficult for them to do this. In actuality, if it's not a popularity contest, they'll take a knife to a newborn's throat. They will, without being put under the specter of morality, they're the first to cheat on a spouse that they claim that they would never cheat on. They're the first to sell their entire family off and start a new family. They're the true psychopaths, the true sociopaths, right? They are borderlines. They are insane, right? But what they do is they switcheroo everything to where they make the good, the pure, those from the pure source, right? Those who are placed into a falsified chiral reality minority situation, right? And so if you can identify with this, you probably are one of the pure ones, right? And you're in so deep that you're now surrounded by those where you would have to look at them and ask yourself the one basic question is, would they sacrifice themselves for you, or would they sacrifice you? And I think that most of us already know the answer because we already have been sacrificed willingly. And so these are witches, these are druids, these are warlocks, okay? These are people who by day seem very charitable, and at night, like Benjamin Franklin, they are aspects, or the bonesmen, the bushes, they are aspects to the Hellfire Club, right? And the bushes, right? They are those who do evil by night and good by day. They are a stark, striking dichotomy that is oftentimes misrepresented as death.